until my well runs dry. Send all your sins all over me, baby,
Hey T Squad, it's me Keisha, and I am here with a new Spill the Tea video. So we all know that last week Monique sat down with Shannon Sharp on his Club Shay Shay podcast and discussed a multitude of things, one of them being her children. When asked about her oldest son, she revealed that she doesn't have a relationship with her oldest son right now. She also revealed that in the beginning of her career, she was out chasing the bag in her career and her dreams, and she wasn't the mother that she should have been to her son, and that she has apologized to him for that and is giving him the time to, accept it. And whenever he's ready to move forward, she said that she was there. Now, mind you, she was asked this. This wasn't anything that she volunteered or anything like that. Well, her oldest son, Shalon, took to social media today to give his side of the story about what it was like being Monique's son. Let's take a look at what he had to say.
Hi, I am Shalon. I am a stand-up comedian, Monique's oldest son. I guess I felt the need to make this video to just provide some context into this false narrative about her praying to the universe. I need to reconcile our relationship or whatever the hell it is. I wrote it all down so that way I don't go all over the place and get emotional or anything like that. So I'm going to talk like I'm reading a script, but it's just going to help me kind of stay together. But to address the Club Shay Shay interview that she did where she states that she prays to the universe in regards to reconciling our relationship, as I stated, is odd. My mother and I both know that that is a very false narrative, and I would like to free her of having to continue telling that lie. Faith without work is dead, and neither one of us cares to put forth any effort to reconcile with the other. We are separate, as she put it, because she doesn't care to be my mother any more than I care to be her son. Neither one of us has had the desire to reach out to the other in a very long time, and I don't think that either of us anticipates that feeling ever returning. Speaking with my mother directly, in my experience, will either lead to some odd newfound moment of clarity in regards to how she was as my mother, or she retreats back to daddy to move forward with a conversation. And I'm tired of hearing my mother's truths. Newsflash, I'm not sure if people know, but standing in your truth doesn't make you noble. I'm not sure if people are aware of that. But responding this way, I feel as though it allows me to say my piece uninterrupted. To those wondering, well, why say something now? Call it a form of therapy for me, I suppose. But when her daddy had intentionally stated that they have 3 sons, but his wife is on the internet talking about the 4th son in a video that has millions of views, that rubbed me the wrong way. But anyway, to inform a child that you are not interested in being a mother at a time when that kid is the only kid that has the potential to lead a child to believe that you are not interested in them specifically. But to take it a step further, you also admit, my mother had also admitted to me that she didn't do the best job that she could do, which would also make one begin to question, all of your past decisions and prior emotional interactions. But to be completely honest and fair, those were things that I was willing to get over. Nobody's perfect. We're all human. But my mother showed a clear lack of humility, compassion, and consideration when taking any level of accountability for those things. My mother does a fantastic job of acknowledging a lot of things, but she doesn't take accountability very well, and anything that she may take true accountability for, it's only at her convenience, in my experience. But if I had to guess, though, her interest in being a mother probably started around the time that she married her daddy and had his children. But that interest, obviously seemed one-sided, and as it should have been. By that time, I'm in my late teens, so to some degree, the the neglect becomes easier to hide or validate, I guess you could say. There are now 2 baby boys in the house, that require attention. But still, during that time, however, I still watched her enjoy the love and admiration of total strangers more than my own. To this very day, my mother has never expressed to me when, if ever, she became interested in me as her son. That did lead me down a path of questioning my self-worth and struggling to understand the value of a mother in a child's life. In the interview, she also states that she gave me an apology, but an apology to a son from a mother that consciously showed no interest in him holds no weight. There are still women to this day that my mother will give credit to for being more of a mother to me than she ever could. Her assistant, my cousin, being one of them. Every time, though, that my mother would state that she was right here whenever I was ready, that ideology still blows my mind today, that a person could openly admit to being an uninterested, not put my best foot forward type of parent and be so self-centered that they still express to the kid, you have to come to me when you're ready. You got to come to me for us to make this right. Okay. I'm not sure what my mother could possibly think that she has shown me in the past or have for me now that's not money, goodness gracious, that would make me want to come to her or whatever those feelings are supposed to be. A mother is supposed to be the first woman that a boy falls in love with. I loved my mother very much, but my mother loved things more than she loved me, and she would validate her love for me by giving me things and would proceed to call me ungrateful or inconsiderate if said things did not have the desired effect. I couldn't imagine what it's like to be her, though, to ask God for what you want, and then he gives you what you need, though, only for you to ignore it and have the audacity to ask God for something else. And I'm glad I don't, I'm glad I didn't do that. And when he told you no, you went to the universe instead. By no means, though, do I want to give off any type of an impression that I am a victim of anything. It's not the case. As you can see, I'm smiling from ear to ear. I'm alive. I'm happy. I'm a dad. I'm healthy, I think. I drink a lot of water. I'm getting over a cold now. I still have my days just like everybody else. And, there were a few things that she did teach me along the way. I did learn how not to love from my mother. I also learned to make sure that I never lose so much of who I am that I have to validate it through another person. And though I feel as though, in hindsight, I think she did it reluctantly, I do appreciate my mother, for showing me what the top of the mountain looks like. You know what I'm saying? It did give me perspective on what hard work and dedication can get you, but I don't want something like that at the cost of giving up something that I created. I don't want it that bad. And speaking of creations, I genuinely, truly, I really did want my mother to have a relationship with my daughter. I even fought through those intrusive thoughts that were, if she wasn't interested in you, what makes you think she's going to be interested in your kid? But it took my mother no time at all to prove that those intrusive thoughts were correct. But what I can say, good for her, the universe did, bless her with 3 other sons. And God willing, I'm sure that all 3 of them are adults now. So I'm sure that one of them, God willing, if not all 3 of them, will make her the grandmother that she wants to be. I still look forward, to that moment for her. But overall, when it comes to the boys, though, I am happy that whenever they do hear me talk, sorry, my phone did something weird, but whenever they hear me talk, they don't know what it is. They can't relate to what it is that I'm saying. My experience with my mother is not their experience. with our mother. So my prayer for her and them is that they continue to see her the way that they see her now. I do also want to make sure that I say thank you to my mother for giving me life. Without that moment in time, I wouldn't have had my little one. But outside of that moment, there isn't anything that either of us has to offer the other. In my opinion, it's a waste of God's time and the universe's time for praying for something that you were not willing to put forth any effort to obtain. Putting the work into becoming Monique is more important to my mother than being my mother. And I do not believe that it was never about her being there and waiting for me, but it was supposed to be about me being there and waiting for her. My mother's value had reached such a low point in my life that I no longer found it necessary to either want to wait for her or even go to her. But like I said, man, I'm super grateful that she has the opportunity to do it all over again. You know, I'm happy for her. I hope the Cat Williams tour goes well, but you know, the narrative that she prays for us to reconcile is a false narrative. It's not real, and I'd appreciate it if she stopped saying stuff like that.
Since posting this on social media, I've seen basically mixed responses. Some people feel like he was out of line. He's a brat. He's being disrespectful. He shouldn't talk against his mother. Other people are saying, you know, this is how this young man feels. You should respect it. And Monique needs to fix it and get her relationship with her son on track. Here's my thoughts on it. Based off what he had to say, Monique has already done a response video that we'll get into on this channel tomorrow, but I just want to concentrate on what Shalon had to say in his video. First of all, we're not him, so we can't speak on how he should or should not feel. These are his feelings, his experience with being her son. We don't know what it's like to be her child or how it felt to have others raise you and your mom not be present. A lot of celebrities have struggled with this and gone through the early stages of their career when they're out here grinding and being gone or on movie sets or traveling, and they're not present around their children or child. And then once they get the career that they've always dreamed of, desired, the money is flowing in, and then they're able to have more children, it has often been found that they're more present for the children that they have later on in life. And then that leads for their older children who didn't get that same parenting and attention and maybe even love and affection to feel discarded, feel like they're looked over, feel like they're like the leftover child, you know, that they didn't get the same things that their siblings are receiving from their parents. I've read so many celebrity biographies where they've discussed this, going through this themselves with their children and having to atone for that. And in this case with Monique, we're dealing with the same thing here. Now, I'll never go against her for following her dreams and building the life for herself that she wanted. But one thing that I did take fault with during her interview with Shannon Sharpe is when she said that she has apologized to her son and that she's waiting on him to come to her when he's ready. And I think I might even said this on my review video last week of the entire interview, that if it were me, there would not be a day where I would not reach out to my child to let him know how serious I am about rectifying what was done. We can never take back what was done, but I can try to start again from that point moving forward. So it wouldn't be just I apologize one time and the ball is in your court. No, because it takes more than just an apology to show someone that you really truly are sincere with your apology and your intention to rectify your mishaps, your misgivings, or the fact that you weren't present. So if I were Monique, yes, he would have received an apology, and he would have continued to receive an apology over and over again. I would have been on his phone every day. I would have been popping up to his house to see him. I would have made myself present so he can see that I'm serious about this. Because for me, just an apology is for you. It wasn't, that doesn't feel like it would have been for me. The apology seemed like it was more so for Monique and not her son. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like with the energy that she's put into other things, that same energy should have been put into rectifying the situation with her oldest son, because obviously there's a lot of hurt and resentment and anger and disappointment there when it comes to him. She doesn't even really talk about her oldest son for real in interviews and things of that nature, maybe because of the situation. But I just feel like that same energy that she has given to Tyler and Oprah and Lee Daniels throughout the years, you should have been giving that same energy to your son. You know what I'm saying? And not to say that she still hasn't been a present mom, because after watching her video, she has still been there for him. But it's more than throwing money at a situation to make it right. You have to show up emotionally, spiritually, and physically, in this young man's life to show him that you really do care and you really want to make things right. So that's what I would have done. And hopefully that's something that she will do moving forward. But this situation does need more work and more fixing. And hopefully she hears what her son had to say and what the public is saying to her, and move forward and try to make things right. So y'all let me know what y'all think about what he had to say, because I feel like he's valid in everything that he said, because they're his feelings and his experience. And it's going to take more than what his mom has done thus far. And it is her obligation and her duty to make it right. Because if this was a man, we would be all up in arms, calling him all types of deadbeats and all of that. Just the same way last year when people were going in on Brian McKnight for basically doing the same thing, but even worse. You know what I'm saying? With his oldest children. And we got in his butt. Same thing for Monique. You need to fix it, because the way it is right now is real trifling. Y'all let me know once again down below in the comment section how y'all feel all about what her son had to say. And I will be back tomorrow with her and Daddy's response video. Okay, we're gonna get into it all. Make sure to thumbs up this video, like and subscribe, and hit that notification bell button. You guys, I love you, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.